Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday, December 29th. A shout out to my wife. Happy anniversary. Today is our anniversary. You can see I also have a special guest with me today. So, Natalie has joined us this morning, at least for a little while, as we get ready to talk to Dave. Again, I hope your Christmas was good. And today, honestly, there's not a lot economically to talk about, but we'll look at all that in just a moment.
5.5 FM. I like the Spin Doctors. That's two princes there. It's 8:39 now. 21 here before 9. We every morning do the right thing with your money and let you know what's going on with it up in Wall Street. And we're really into the doldrums here between Christmas and New Year's. Individual companies are basically saying nothing right now. Yeah, they're all on Christmas vacation too, but there are things going on and some interesting tidbits out there on Wall Street to tell you which way things might be going after we get past January 1st. Phillip Statler from Statler Financial Services in downtown Sebring on the line. Talking about those tidbits, Phillip, we had 3 new closing records on the major indexes yesterday. That's kind of a yeehaw, isn't it?
We did, Dave. I mean, all 3 indexes. I pulled them all up and looked at them, and they had inter highs even higher than what they closed at. So yeah, a barn burner day yesterday to the upside. So the question a lot of people have is what's going to happen in 2021, and obviously none of us know, right? When the changes in Congress happen, the changes in the White House happen, nobody's really sure what 2021 has to hold from an economic and a market standpoint. But it sure looks like we're going to be off to a really good start in 2021.
It does for a fact. And as you say, talking about uncertainty, we don't even know who's going to be in control of Washington with the Georgia Senate seats up for grabs right after the first of the year. So it's kind of interesting. It looks like investors are, tending to favor at the very least the blue chip stocks that they at the very least can keep a closer tab on. But there's some adventurous corners they're taking too, like, for instance, Bitcoin, which you mentioned to me before we went on the air.
Yeah, Bitcoin has had a nice little run up here this quarter. And so I was reading an article, one of the guys that follows and trades Bitcoin all the time, and has really tracked it over time, has determined that he thinks that it's got some room to go. But in January, he expects a pullback, just like there is pretty much every January he's tracked. And so he's looking for a pullback. And of course, he's saying it's a buying opportunity. It's hard to say. I'm not really up on how Bitcoin really works, and I'm not 100% sold on what it's going to do in the future. But there's guys out there that they're sold on Bitcoin and how good it's going to be down the road.
I was going to say, I know you've always been on the conservative side as far as investment advice is concerned. Bitcoin is one of those investments that one makes purely and simply with the money that they could buy lottery tickets with, or they could have a little fun playing with Bitcoin. If you plan on making money on it and expect to, you're probably cruising for a bruising, as wild as that is, isn't it?
I would definitely agree. That's not where I'm putting my clients' money anyway in Bitcoin.
I would, unless of course they got $10 they're planning on buying a lottery ticket with it, and then you might suggest Bitcoin, right?
They can do that themselves. Yeah, exactly.
I got you there. I had an interesting news item on Bitcoin. I noticed that they closed at 26,905 last night, and they've been trading up and down through the evening hours, but they're obviously in nosebleed territory. Somebody did the calculation on the thing. I'm not much more lucid on Bitcoin than anybody is, but I do know it's created by people with high-end computers throwing out random numbers at other servers and trying to figure out whether that's the key to unlock Bitcoins. And when you guess the right number, you get a Bitcoin back in the process. It's called mining. Now, you got to do that a cajillion times in order to guess the right number in order to mine a Bitcoin, and that takes really high-end computers and software cards and video cards to do that. Somebody calculated that in this year that over 100 terawatt hours are going to be expended on the power grid mining Bitcoin. For the sake of comparison, that's more than the entire national power consumption of a lot of countries like Pakistan. It's well above their entire national power consumption for the year. Just geeks out there mining Bitcoin. I found that just a fascinating level.
I guess that means there could be some place there for some carbon replacement. Is that the deal? You know, they may have to start paying some carbon replacement dollars there.
Well, the article was saying, you know, China is the biggest place for mining Bitcoin right now. Most of their power is still generated by coal. So think of all that belching smoke over Beijing and say, oh, that's somebody mining Bitcoin. Just a strange sideline to the element. Hey, I also noticed the Russell 2000 didn't quite get the benefit of the new record yesterday that the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P do. You're saying they're going back up this morning, though, so small stocks might have just had a one-day tick downward, huh?
Well, they could have, and it could have been some rebalancing of portfolios too. You just don't know what plays into a little tick down. But you know, we're talking about tidbits today because there's really not much else for you and I to talk about economically or in earnings season. But I found this interesting. The Japanese Nikkei finally got back up to where it was in August of 1990. And that was 27,568. So it's taken them, what, 30 years to get back to where they were at their all-time high.
When you shared with me that was 30 odd, you know, close to 30 years ago, I just darn near dropped my false teeth. I mean, I know that the Japanese markets have been flat for a long time, and for a long time we were talking about the lost decade. Heck, it's been the lost 30 years for Japanese investors, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's been more than a quarter of a century. So, so you know, that must mean their economy is finally getting somewhat back to burning it up too, as well as that is ours. So, another little tidbit today will be the first day back for the Boeing 737 MAX, and American Airlines will be taking a flight from, I think it's Miami to New York's LaGuardia. And so that's good news for Boeing. So it's pushing their stock up a little bit, about 1.25%.
That's finally good news for Boeing. They have had such a rough row, and so much of it has been self-inflicted with bad PR and some little scandalettes coming out about how they just knew they had a little bit of a problem with that automatic guidance system and decided not to do anything about it. Counting on training. It's kind of nice to see them actually get some good news for a change, isn't it?
It is, and hopefully by the end of the day, it's still good news, right?
Yeah, gosh, let's hope we don't have any stories about airplane crashes. I don't want that any day, but this would be even worse, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would definitely not be good for Boeing.
Have you heard what the reservations are like on that first flight?
I have not. And they probably didn't promote that as it being the first flight either.
I would imagine not, just for the sake of PR. Who wants to take even a 0.1% chance, right?
Exactly.
So setting it up again, setting the table, we've got, like I said, it's a tidbit day for us, but there's a lot of little stuff affecting money. We're still crossing our fingers, or at least a few folks are, that something might get through the Senate. It passed the House for that $2,000 stimulus check. We were happy yesterday that the president signed the $600 check. I think you and I both are a little cynical about there's any chance of any serious discussion about the $2,000 getting through the Senate, aren't you?
I am, Dave. I just don't think it'll happen. You know, it's weighted on the Republican side. You know, if that was going to happen, you know, the up and down vote would have worked to change the existing bill, and it didn't. So I just don't see that coming through the Senate and getting to the president's desk anytime in this administration.
Well, that would be my guess, too. The House would make their changes to get the 2,000. I think you could probably find enough foreign aid hawks in the Senate on the Republican side to take the money out of that, but it wouldn't be the same way to find the money the Democrats had in the House. So that idea is probably going nowhere. At the very least, that'd be my best guess.
I agree. I don't think that's anything that's going to be of contention. We need to be happy that we got something passed, because something's better than nothing. And we'll have to wait to see kind of what the new administration starts to throw out there.
Yep, and with our apologies for throwing cold water on anybody that thought they had hope for that. Once again, it was green ink yesterday. 3 new records in the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P. Normally, that means a profit-taking day, Phillip. 45 minutes early. I'm seeing green ink. Doesn't look like we're ready to take it off the table yet.
No, it doesn't. It looks like, the foot's on the gas and it's still going up. So, and going up kind of significantly. We got the Dow up about 0.4%. The S&P 500 is up 1/3%, and the Nasdaq's up almost 0.5%. So everything's looking really green there. The question is, if they keep it this record, we'd close at another record today. The question is, can they keep it going? And that we won't know until the end of the day. On the commodity side, Dave, it's mostly green. Silver is giving back some money today. It's down 1.1%. Gold is basically flat. It's up less than 0.1%. And crude oil is lower than what it was yesterday when you and I spoke, but it's up 0.9% from where it closed yesterday at 48.05 a barrel.
Over 48 is kind of an interesting place for it to be, given the doldrums we've been in. World markets, the Asian rim, like Phillip mentioned, the Nikkei was up substantially yesterday, almost behaving like it went through a resistance level, closed at 27,568, where they were, only 30 years ago. Hong Kong was also up. The English and German markets are both up substantially this morning, especially the British markets, up over 2%. I'll bet you probably wouldn't give any advice to buy Bitcoin, Phillip, because you specialize in making sure people have a stable and a safe retirement. It's a weird time of the year. We talk about elections, a new government taking over. How do I find you to make sure my retirement is secure?
Devin, give us a call at 863-382-0037. They can also go to our website. That's statlerfinancial.com. We've got posts to our radio show there. We've got links to our calendar if you want to schedule a call or an appointment with us. And then you can join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk 730.
Where we also stream it online at newstalk730am.com as well, by the way. Phillip, thank you so much, and we will see you tomorrow. We got 2 more shots before the new year.
All right, man. You have a great day.
Thank you kindly. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Hey, folks, again, I thank you for joining us today as we head into this end of 2020, looking forward to 2021. Hope you have a great day. I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow.